Hey, so today I decided that I was going to look over some maps on r slash imaginary maps. Basically, this is a subreddit where there's a lot of like different alternative history, fantasy, sci-fi, or anything else. And as you can see here, there's a lot of people on this Reddit. Um, there's also 69 people on mine, which is nice. Uh, hmm. Sorry about that. Um, but let's take a look at this first map right here. And this is what if Austria won the Brothers' War. Um, so if you don't know what the Brothers' War was, it had a lot of different names. You could call it Bruderkrieg or German Civil War or the Austro-Prussian War or the Seven-Week War. It has a lot of different names. And basically, all you need to know about this war is it was between the two biggest German powers, um, Austria and Prussia at the time. And Austria had this thing called the German Confederation, where it was basically a revival of the Holy Roman Empire in a way, where they're trying to kind of have like control over all the other little states and have them content with that. Um, but eventually, Prussia and Austria would have this war against each other. So, two of the biggest like German-speaking countries ended up going to war. Well, Prussia actually won that because they had superior technology. Basically, their guns were a lot better. They had the dressé needle gun, which reloads much faster than a musket, and Austria was still using muskets. And there's been many like historical accounts of Austrian officers and Austrian men during this war who were basically saying like how just devastating the dressé needle gun was to their columns because they were still fighting in like there wasn't really frontline tactics and stuff like that yet. Um, so yeah, this is basically if Austria won that. Uh, and now, obviously, one thing that'll stand out to most people here is that Austria took Silesia, which, if you don't know what Silesia is, it is a province um, that is like to the north of Austria, and it's like the lower part of Prussia. Silesia was this place that actually had been taken away from Austria by Prussia like a century earlier. Um, it's a long story. They kind of have a long rivalry, basically, uh, up until like I guess after German unification. But another thing I noticed with this map is that they do not have the Rhineland. Now I don't know if Prussia was always like that, where they didn't have the Rhineland. Um, well, I know it wasn't always like that, but I don't know. Like, I don't remember if they even had the Rhineland before the Brother War, and that would have been like the 1860s. I don't remember the exact year or the exact date. Um, but it looks like Prussia doesn't have the Rhineland, which is interesting. Maybe implying that that was taken away from Prussia by Austria, or maybe I have no idea. This this French border right here looks a little weird. I don't know if this is actually what the Netherlands looked like or if this is part of the alternate history map. But I talked to some people about this map, and they said that Austria probably wouldn't take anything if they would have won this war because apparently That would have upset all these other little states in the German Confederation. So Austria probably would just leave that be. 'Cause like I said, they want to, you know, make them happy and not have them leave their little thing. Also, um, I just realized something really weird. Like, why is Byzantium back all of a sudden? What? Okay, this map is now confusing me. Also, did Egypt always have Cyprus and Crete? I don't. Okay, this is starting to get. This is weird now. Hmm. And another thing that doesn't make sense to me that much. Italy. Italy and Prussia were kind of working together in a way, against Austrian dominance. So if Prussia lost, how how did Italy unify by itself then? That'll be something interesting. Um, Also, Sultanate of Anatolia, Egyptian vassal somehow. So somehow, because Austria won the Brothers' War, that led to the Ottomans declining even faster, and then Egypt like takes their place or something. I don't know. That's really confusing. Maybe it's because maybe it's more like because the Ottomans were declining that caused Austria to somehow win this. I have no idea. This map is really weird. For some reason, Byzantium is back, even though they were like dead like centuries ago. Uh, yeah, this is a really weird map. I don't really understand it that well. Um, yeah, I think I'm just gonna move on to the next one because this one is really weird. Um, Now this map is really questionable. There's a whole like paragraph here. Um, I don't think I'm gonna read it. I don't feel like reading it. Basically, this looks like a weirdly alternative World War One. It goes into a lot of depth, obviously, but the big difference here is that for some reason Germany just absorbed Austria. I don't know how realistic that really is. I'm not an expert on that, but there's a part of me telling me that like Germany taking Austria isn't very realistic. I don't know why. I just feel like that's not realistic. But if they did take Austria, I don't think they would have the rest of their land, which I think is the realistic part about the rest of the empire becoming independent, if you know what I mean. There, this border is also really weird. Second Latvian Republic. There's also United Council Republics of France, Corsica, and Algiers. And oh, what's this? Glor Government of the French Republic in exile down here in Africa. So it looks like they might have went communist maybe or socialist. I have no idea. Or maybe they went syndicalist because that was also really popular. But Italy looks like they definitely gone communist. Italian People's Republic. That's a very commonly used name um, for communists naming their countries. If you didn't know. And it looks like Italy is having like some sort of civil war or something, or for some reason they just got like split up again, which is kind of annoying for them to be honest. But this kind of just looks like Kaiserreich basically, just Kaiserreich, except it's actually World War One instead of World War Two, which is weird. Yeah. and it looks like, what does this say? So these are the alliances. The gray is members of the Central Alliance. These kind of gray and tan and blue and tan are nations which joined a faction more than a year after July 1914. So they joined later in the war, basically. And the people in the red are members of the First International, and the people in tan are neutral nations. And as you could guess, the people in the blue are part of the Entente Cordiale, or just the Entente. So it looks like there's actually three different factions here going on. That's which is pretty cool. I like that idea of like having a three-way um, World War One, but at the same time here, this whole like this whole thing of like Germany absorbing Austria is still questionable to me. I have no idea how realistic that is. I really don't. Um, but it looks like it's UK, Russia, Greece, Serbia, and Montenegro. Yeah, Montenegro and like the French government in exile in like Algeria, kind of. It looks like it's those people are in the Entente. And I forgot Romania. They joined later. It looks like. And it looks like Germany, uh, Tunis, or no, Germany, Kingdom of Italy, Tunis Protectorate, Violate of Tripoli, United Kingdoms of Sweden and Norway are in the um, Central Powers. Kingdom of Illyria and Sardom of Bulgaria joined later. I just realized that these guys got into the war, which is like really weird to me. I feel like that's just really random and unnecessary, but I have no idea what the justification for bringing them into that it really is. They might have something in here that talks about that. So, and then the rest here, which is Second Latvian Republic, which is like the United Benelux without Luxembourg, I guess, for some reason. It's Belgium and Netherlands united, basically. And then there's the United Council Republics of France, Corsica, and Algiers, Italian People's Republic, Spanish Republic. All these nations are probably communist, judging by the name of the faction, the First International. Um, so, yeah, it's a pretty interesting map. I won't lie. This looks like it comes out of. Oh wait, yeah. So the post here says, "I have a test on the Great War soon. Good thing I have this textbook." So it is meant to look like a textbook, which is really. I think that's really cool. It's a really cool way of like representing your maps. But if you want to find any of these maps, you just have to go to r/imaginary maps and you just look up the map names, I guess, or the titles. I have no idea. You could also, I guess, look at the users and find the maps from there. But yeah, I'm just gonna scroll through. Hmm. Okay, this will be interesting. So oh wow, okay. So a lot of things I noticed. There's British Libya, which is interesting, and there's a Italy has like less territory, and they don't have Libya either. So Italy must have lost a lot of land. I wonder if that means that Italy joined, assuming that there was a World War One. Maybe they joined the losing side, but this is if like Spain. I guess, lasted longer, like the Spanish Empire. I don't remember how long they held on to Cuba. It must have been somewhere in the 1890s. I'm assuming in the really early 1900s. I think is when they actually lost it. So it's pretty interesting seeing that still there. They also have random African colonies. Oh, that's so weird. When they still have the Philippines too. I think they also lost that. Oh yeah, in French Indochina, is it supposed to look like that? I think. I don't know. It just looks weird to me. Also, British China is like really big for some reason. French Congo. Interesting. So basically, somehow the French got the Congo in the oh God, what's it called? Scramble for Africa, I guess, and the Berlin like Congress, I think it's called Congress of Berlin. I don't remember the exact name. Basically, when they all like decided they were gonna divide up Africa between all the different major powers, um, and the Congo was a very sought after place because it was very rich in resources. Um, so I wonder how the French got the Congo then, because they did end up giving it to Belgium because they didn't know what to do with it. And they knew that if one empire took it, um, it'll probably end up becoming more powerful than the other empires. Oh my. Okay, there's a lot of things happening. So, for one, that Korea looks really weird to me. I don't know if that was on purpose, or if that was by accident, or if that was due to limitations. Um, this is an alternate East Asia 1905. Spain still has the Philippines somehow. Okay, I just realized. Scandinavian Siam? How the hell? How the hell did they get to Thailand? How? There's also British Far East. It looks like Japan. It doesn't. It's not saying if it's an empire or if it's like still in the Shogun period. So I don't know what Japan really is. It I don't know. I want to assume it's still in the Shogun because they're like a lot weaker. Um, but I really have no idea. There's also the British Far East, which is like some Japanese islands, and Korea, which is really still really weird to me. I don't know how realistic that is of the British. I mean, they probably could if they wanted to, because they were the like the most powerful empire at the time. But this up here is just really confusing. This German Manchurian, German Mongolia. How would they be able to like actually sustain this? Because they're on the other side of the world, and like that would just be a nightmare trying to maintain these colonies. I don't know how realistic that is, but to be fair, somehow France and Britain did it. Um, but Germany had a lot less experience, obviously. There's also Dutch Formosa. This is just Taiwan, a bunch of these islands. Again, I don't know how realistic this is. This is really weird. I'm really questioning the Scandinavian Siam, um, and this British Far East thing is also questionable. And these huge German colonies are also extremely questionable. Um, but I'm assuming, hmm, I just I just noticed another thing. So 1905, that would mean that China became a republic like 6 years earlier, because they became a republic in 1911. Um, they probably definitely made them weaker, the Qing weaker, definitely. Um, but doesn't look like they broken into like warlord states like they did in our timeline, or warlord alliances, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, this is very this is very weird. Also, I just realized that Siam has Laos and Cambodia. That's also really weird. Why does Scandinavia have so much that hmm, that's questionable. Hmm. I also realized that Russia lost a lot of territory. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. Why did they lose so much territory? What could have caused this? Did Russia fuck up so bad? Russia and Japan just fucked up so bad that they got like huge swaths of territory taken from them. Either that or something way earlier in the timeline must have happened for this to be realistic. Otherwise, this would probably definitely change or upset the balance of power. I have no idea. It's very weird though. Okay, this is a pretty interesting question. Um, because I also wondered this too, but it's what if the German, what if not the German, what if the 1848 revolution succeeded? Which if you don't know what that is, just look it up. But basically, people in it wasn't just in Germany; it was in a lot of other different places in Europe, like France and Austria. But that was basically a part of Germany at the time. Um, I can't think. I don't know why, but I seriously can't think of any other place. Um, so it looks like Germany is a lot bigger, but they're an empire for some reason, which is like really weird to me. I feel like Germany would be a democracy in this timeline rather than a monarchy, because that's kind of what they wanted. I feel like the liberals, I guess, of the 1848 revolution. Hmm, that's really weird. Also, the French, their flag is different. Weird. They also keep Czechia. That's also very strange. I mean, I know that there's German-speaking people in Czechia, but how how realistic really is that at this time? I have no idea. And it looks like Poland is also like I guess a puppet now. I mean, it already kind of was weird. Hmm. So I don't know why, but this bugs me a lot. This map. What if the European powers intervened in the Bruderkrieg? I feel like might be unrealistic. Because I don't know why people do this, but they like to make up like a Prussian Empire. It's like it doesn't need to be called the Prussian Empire. You can just call it Kingdom of Prussia. But obviously, people people like that because it sounds cool, so they'll just name it that anyways. And it also makes you question what exactly actually like makes it an empire. Just because they took a few pieces of territory, does that really make them an empire? Think about that. This other thing where Austria has control of all these of the lower states, which I mean maybe because they did end up fighting with Austria against Prussia. I did not mention that. Forgot to mention that the northern states kind of ended up helping Prussia. Some of them did. I don't think all of them did. And the southern states ended up helping Austria in the war. So I don't know. This map is really bugs me for some reason. I don't know why. Hmm. I also just realized Hungary is independent. That is really weird. And they also lost Galicia or whatever you want to call that. For some reason, Russia let Poland have Galicia, which is like I don't know. Is that something Russia would do? I have no idea. This is a really weird map. I I don't know why people need to call this the Prussian Empire. Just call it Prussia. It doesn't need to be anything else. Okay, what is this? Congressional map. Congressional Kingdom of Poland, but something is off. If you don't know what this is, I think this is referring to the Bear King like route that you can go in Hoi for. Um, this map is very weird. I will say that like Yugoslavia is having a civil war. I don't know how realistic that is at this time. Um, looks like they kind of absorbed Silesia, East Prussia, and like the lower Baltics and Slovakia here, which is interesting. It also looks like they're taking some territory from the Soviets, and the Soviets are taking territory from them, so maybe they're in like a war or something. Hmm. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like France has a little bit more territory here. Maybe that was just a mistake. Oh, how did I not notice this? What is this down here? Is this some sort of independence movement in Iraq? Who knows? Well, definitely. Well, maybe this isn't a civil war. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like a civil war, and Bulgaria is getting involved. Maybe it's like the Third Balkan War, and Yugoslavia is breaking up because of it. I don't know. An early Yugoslav wars. I don't know how that would go. And then the thing with Germany, they have the Rhineland. They also have Austria, and they keep like this. I don't even know what you would call this province right here. They also keep Schleswig-Holstein. Weird, very weird map. I don't know what exactly is happening here. What's a Congressional Kingdom of Poland? Oh, Wojtek. Okay, if you don't know who Wojtek is, look him up. But he's basically this bear that helped the Polish in World War II. Um, it's a military junta, and it's a puppet monarchy. So yeah, that's really weird. I have no idea what's happening in this map. Hmm. Hmm. I've seen this map before, and I can't really figure out what is slightly different about this. It's 1867, and the only difference I can spot here is the fact that these territories are connected in Prussia, because I believe these were not connected before. I may be wrong though. I may be wrong about that. Um, but I feel like these territories right here in the Rhineland and Brandenburg, I don't remember them being connected. So maybe that's what the difference is. I don't notice any other difference. Maybe the fact that there's a Kingdom of Italy that looks like this. But to be fair, Italy probably looked like this at the time. Um, Piedmont, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This is really weird. Okay, I did not know this was a thing. Um, but this is what if somehow communist partisans liberated Luxembourg from German occupation in World War One? Now this is a hand-drawn map. I'm a little biased towards hand-drawn maps because they literally have to draw like the entire continent, and that has to be like really hard to do, I can imagine. Um, there's a lot of things going on with this map. So basically, France, Germany, Denmark, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Belgium have all just been absorbed by this People's Republic of Luxembourg, which is like I don't know if this is like post-war World War One or if World War One's still happening. Maybe we can assume that World War One has already ended. Um, a lot of stuff is going on here. Um, obviously, props to the person who hand drawn this. This looks really nice. I think there needs to be more hand drawn maps because they look really cool. But anyways, there's a Danubian Federation here, which is I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I think Austria is a part of that. I have no idea. I feel like there's a part of Austria that's left out of that. But it's obviously Czechoslovakia, um, and Hungary, and Austria maybe is a part of that. Also, Italy lost some territory in France, which is also interesting. The Swiss are still alive because, of course, the Swiss are always neutral. That's their thing. That's the meme. That's the whole meme. Also, British Levant. I think this implies that the British has Palestine, because I'm pretty sure that's what the area is, if I remember. I think that's what the area is kind of referring to. I could be wrong about that though. Kingdom of Greece. Greece has territory in Turkey. Now, I believe this actually did happen when Turkey was very young as a nation, and it was like right after World War One. They were kind of being carved up by its neighbors, but Turkey didn't. They wouldn't let them do that. So they ended up getting their territory back. Obviously, the Ottoman Empire was already gone. So yeah. Otherwise, I don't think too much has changed here, other than the fact that, oh, look at that. Third French Republic in Africa. Wow. France also has Corsica. Wow. There's also the Irish Commune, so I guess the Irish Civil War happened and they kicked the UK out of Ireland, and on top of that, they also became communist. I have no idea. And there's also the fact that Russia is still a empire. Um, I don't know what that could mean. Maybe that means that the Russian Revolution never happened. Or maybe the whites won. I have no idea. Hmm. I thought this was a very interesting interesting map. Um, so this is map of lowlands during the interwar period, 1936. Now, one thing that'll immediately stand out is this Prussian Volksreich. Um, I think it's referring to Volkskism. Volkskism. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Something like that. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's basically this ideology that inspired um, a lot of things with National Socialism. If you know what National Socialism is and you know what I'm getting at, that's pretty interesting. And also the fact that it's still referred to as Prussia, not Germany, maybe meaning that Germany never unified. And there's also this thing where the Netherlands has like the Dutch Republic flag. I wonder why they kept that. And this random state of Antwerp. I wonder I wonder what that has to do with anything. Um, well, it really looks like this border right here with the French is really weird. Um, yeah, Brussels. The French have a lot of Belgium. It looks like Belgium was carved up for some reason, or maybe they just never existed in this timeline. I have no idea. But this is like, I'm not saying it's realistic, but this is the most interesting map I'd say I find. There's a lot of things to really speculate with this one. Um, yeah, maybe maybe I'll see more from this guy. I have no idea, but yeah, I think that'll be the last map for today. Oh, honestly, imaginary maps. It has a lot of Germany maps, like Germany scenarios, a lot of scenarios that are centered around Germany, basically, or have Germany involved in it. Um, I feel like we need a lot less of that, honestly. Like, I don't have a bias against them, really. It's just that I feel like they get overdone a lot. Like, it's the most common alternative history topic is to change something about Germany. And I feel like there really needs to be more than just only Germany stuff, you know. more than just what if this happened in Germany, or what if this happened to Prussia? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I definitely feel like there needs to be some less of that and more of some other things. Not and basically, what I'm trying to say is that there needs to be a lot of different scenarios, not just the same one over and over again, because that'd just be really boring to see the same, same kind of country changing over and over again. So I just noticed this map right here looks really interesting. This might give us a clue as to what exactly is going on here. I don't know if this is actually related to what's happening though. I wonder if the author created this map or if he like got this from something else. I have no idea. It's really hard to see what these borders could really be. It's really hard to see like where the Prussian Volksreich really is. I'm assuming it's like northern Germany or something. I have no idea. But yeah, that's really interesting. Um, but anyways, I think that's gonna be about it. So I'll see you later.